Um, but I don't think that some business owners actually calculate about how much each employee should earn for us, right? And so, can you work me backwards of like how do I think about that as a business owner when I'm just starting? Of like, what should my employee produce? Like, how do I make all of this math make sense?
So in Profit First, we have an equation. And I know that we're online, so it's gonna be a little bit different to actually explain this. But when you're dealing with trades, one of the things that I would say is you have to factor in your cost of construction, your cost to produce the work that you do. And so if you have revenue, you have to subtract out those material costs. So if I'm needing to buy lumber or if I'm interior decorator and I need to buy furniture, right? When I subtract that from my revenue, I call that difference real revenue at that point because it's kind of like if I have a retail store. I can't make a sale in a retail store unless I buy inventory.
Mm,
And that inventory is what I call my materials and subcontractors. And so when I'm thinking about trades, I have my materials are my cost of construction. So my lumber, my um, concrete, if I have concrete, my subcontractors, if I'm a GC,
mhm.
those costs are going to go as part of my materials and subs. So I'm going to take my revenue, subtract out my materials and subcontractors, then I'm going to have my real revenue. Now, from an internal labor, I need to be getting a 3x, at least a 3x on my labor costs in order to achieve profitability because this person is not going to always be billable, right? This person's going to want vacation, they're going to want benefits, they're going to need a computer, they might need insurance, right? And then maybe a third of it might be left over for profit. So we need at least a 3x. I mean, payroll taxes itself is at least 10% in most states. And Sarah, you're in California, it's even more there.
Right.
And so you want a 3 to 4x return on labor. So when I subtract out my materials and subcontractor costs and I have my real revenue, that number should be there should be at least $150,000 per employee is what I'm looking at. Now, if I'm in a higher labor situation, for example, let's say I'm hiring engineers.
Mhm.
Engineers are $100,000 at least in salary.
Yeah.
So obviously it's not going to be 150,000 for an engineer, but I do need to make sure that engineer is producing a 3 to 4x on their salary.
Yeah. So no matter what your salary is, it's 3 to 4x, and that's the value that you need to bring in for from your employee. That
Exactly.
yeah.